All right, this is chapter 4, video 7, and we got cut off here talking about our assignment statement. And if you look again at your text box for age, everything that gets entered into here is entered in as a string. And we are trying to take a string and make it put into an integer, and it cannot do that. So when you have an assignment statement like we have here, we need both to be equal. So what we're going to do is we're going to type in, we want to take that text box and turn it into an integer, and we do that by what they refer to as parsing it. And the word parse is actually a method, and so that means it's going to do something. As you notice, when I make that change to the text, it no longer has a syntax there because it works in sort of the order of operations. It looks at this and says, okay, I'm going to take the literal string, whatever the user typed in here, and then it's going to go to the next stage. It's going to say, let's parse it, which means convert it into a different data type. And what data type is it going to parse it into an integer? So that's how the order of operation works in the code. And then as soon as it's done that, it takes this amount and it adds it to the integer value, or the age int variable type. All right, so that should set that up. Now we want to come down to our condition statement. Now our condition statement is looking at the if structure, and if you remember how that works, it starts off with if, and then it has an expression, and then after the expression it has brackets, and after the brackets it has else. So you can set this up ahead of time if you want. Some people like to do that, and then fill it in later. But so the hard part I find with condition statements is coming up with the question. So what is the question? We know that there's 3 parts to the question: part 1, part 2, and then part 3. We have a relational operator, and then we're comparing 2 things. So what's the question we're asking here? And if you think back to the purpose of this program, and it is to determine whether the age is greater than 18. Because that's the question: is age greater than 18? If it is, display the message they are a student. If they're not, they can't come to Douglas College, right? So this one right here is what we want. That's the user's response. That's the age, and we're comparing that against a constant of 18 years old. So the comparison operator is age greater than 18? So there's the expression, and that's how we formulate an expression in a decision structure. It's made of 3 parts where you're comparing it. And you can compare constants or variables or literal strings or all sorts of stuff as long as the question is formulated in that type of structure. All right, now if that's true, so remember, this is if it's true, you want to do this, and if it's false, now I'll just put this in as sort of pseudocode here, or a document. Let's go in here, and this is false. If it's true, what do you want to happen? Well, if it's true, I want to take my label control and I want to have a message. So right here, this is the label control right there, and it's called RU legal label. And let's see here. I was going to just copy it, but I can't do that. Let's go in here and say, RU legal label dot text, and I can display. We'll make that equal to display, which should read something. You are old enough to go to Douglas College, period. All right, so there we go. And we finish that off with our semicolon. There we go. So that's what happens if it's true. If it's false, if they fail the test, what do you want to do to that? Well, I'm going to just basically copy this line, save myself some typing here, and I'm going to paste it right there. And you are not old enough to go to Douglas College. How's that? Now when I compile it, run it. All right, so I've compiled it. Let's type in, if you're 16, we know 16 is less than 18, you are not old enough to go to, and it gets cut off. What if I type in 22? You are old enough to go to Douglas, it gets cut off. So we have to change how we're outputting our message here. But that's the basic understanding or idea behind a conditional statement using 2 possible outcomes with 1 expression here, using an if-else structure. All right, we'll carry on in the next video with more of this.